Our chain of college students has to begin somewhere, so why not at the center of all activity, in America's melting pot?
We are in New York.
I don't really have anything to say, but
I'm so glad to be in New York. That's all.
We start within the ivy-clad walls of Columbia University. It is here where some of the brightest minds gather to learn under Columbia's renowned core curriculum. We're focusing on one of these minds. Person 1, Shayna Sehayik, a rising college senior at the Jewish Theological Seminary of Columbia.
Hey Shayna, it's Lynn.
Strangers we're surely not. In fact, we are celebrating our 10-year friendship anniversary. Friends at first sight on the first day of 6th grade while waiting at this bus stop. First impression, Shayna emits all New Yorker. She walks the walk, talks the talk, and shows off that mane. Ladies and gentlemen, you ain't seen nothing yet. Meet Shayna Sehayik.
It started off as a natural talent, and it just led to this absolutely exhilarating feeling that I feel when performing in front of an audience. So it's not that I dance thinking that no one's watching. I would say I dance thinking the entire world is watching me, and I'm loving it.
It's this confidence which Shayna credits as one of her largest strengths and the biggest lesson she's learned at Columbia. But aside from dancing, there are some things she hasn't always carried with pride.
Wherever I go, without a doubt, there's always a question, a curiosity, a fascination with this hair. I would always tie it back in a bun, in a ponytail, getting it out of my conscious thought at least. I tried some really interesting procedures, among them weave, hours of straightening, both with a flat iron and chemicals, a lot of tears. Of course, my mom was always my biggest supporter, telling me that it was beautiful and gorgeous, and but when you see your mom with straight blonde hair, it's kind of hard to believe her. It's kind of hard to think, other than just she's a mom, she has to say these things. Now, coming to college, my hair has transformed into this conversation piece. It generally leads to discussions about my identity, my heritage, the fact that I have a Middle Eastern father from whom I inherited this lovely mane.
Shayna comes from a multifaceted Jewish family. She's the second oldest of 4. Her father's Iraqi, her mother's South African.
I think my family is probably one of the most fundamental components of my identity. Something that was always really stressed growing up was eating dinner as a family around the table, and really the whole concept of breaking bread, the different discussions that went on around the table, people sharing their highlights of the week, sharing their resolutions for the coming week. I think the table was a really integral part of that.
These discussions often took place during Friday night Shabbat dinner, the eve of the Jewish Day of Rest. But while the table was the source of much healthy family discourse, it wasn't Shayna's favorite place to spend her Friday evenings as a teenager.
To me, it was just simply a burden. It meant you couldn't do this, you couldn't go out on certain days, you couldn't eat certain things, you couldn't date certain people. After graduation of high school, I made the ironic decision to come to JTS, which is the flagship of the conservative movement in the world. It was all based on the idea of I can't hate my heritage forever. It was very difficult at first. I was worried that other people wouldn't be able to relate to me. A lot of the kids come here with much stronger formal Jewish education backgrounds. But very quickly what I learned is that some of the things I experienced growing up as a Jewish resident of South Florida rings true across the board, not only for my own generation of Jews, but also just in the history of Jews as a people. The beauty of New York is that there are just so many different colors and shapes and walks of life that people hold here, and nothing is too weird for New York.
Not by any standard. From New York City, Person 1, Shayna Sehayik.